I've done so much research with my ancestors that sometimes I can feel a voice, in my dreams, and my response is, it's a whisper of love. It's a whisper. My name is Juanita Lavadie. I'm from Taos. My neighborhood is here at La Loma, just west of the plaza on Trujillo Lane. And Trujillo Lane is my ancestral home, the Trujillos. So this whole neighborhood here, when I grew up, was filled with extended family. It's changed. This is 2022, but I have my home here, I have my studio, and I have my yard with my chickens, and I'm looking forward to getting my turkeys. And my dog, Churita's back here to stay there. The neighborhood has changed. A lot of people are leaving their ancestral homes globally because most people are moving into cities because that's where the jobs are. Okay, who inspired me to start weaving? Actually, it was my dad. He was I would call him my first art teacher, right? He was a very imaginative man. He was very spiritual. He grew up in the mountains, was a sheep herder, and he was really visual, very visual. So he was also a school teacher. And I know that he started me weaving, it sounds funny, weaving pot holders. And once I started weaving, then the stories started coming out from my grandmother, and all of the other family tradition of weaving started coming out. So it actually kind of skipped 2 generations. And then I just ended up picking it. But it started with something as basic as weaving pot holders. The most challenging work I just finished was the installation that's right now at 516 Arts. It was a combination of everything that I had been taught over the years. It's multimedia. So I did some weaving, I did some stitching, I did some drawing, I did some bookmaking, I did some construction, and I did map making. 516 Arts is not an art exhibit, an art gallery. It's a non-collective contemporary art museum, and it's sponsored a lot by the Andy Warhol Foundation. I think the hardest thing is what you're working on right away because you're immersed in it, and it tugs at you. I mean, sometimes, you go to sleep and you're even dreaming about it. I am very proud of I like the mural at El Prado because that was a collaboration with my good friend Enriqueta Vasquez. She's in her 90s now, but she still paints and she still writes. Again, this was a collaboration with the owner of the wall, which is Telesfor Gonzalez, and the way he protected the wall for his business, but also as the wall, a community mural. That one has been painted 3 times. The first time it was painted in 1978, and then we repainted it in 2002, I believe. And then 2006, Telesfor did a really good job in terms of protecting that mural because someone actually drove through. They were coming from the north, and I guess they decided to stop there, and so they kind of swear there's a lot of pavement there at that El Prado liquor store mural. He just kind of got off the road and thought he was going to be able to drive and park there right in front of the wall. His brakes didn't function, so he went through the wall and he ended up in the refrigerator. So that was where the wall was completely rebuilt, and we repainted it. And each time it got repainted with contributions of the community, you make your changes because it's a living, breathing thing. I mean, the mural is part of what is an interaction with the community. So a lot of people are coming up to both Enriqueta and me, and this is 2006. Oh, I'm so glad you're painting that mural. It's been there all my lifetime. Well, I'm glad that was perceived that way, but there was a lot of memories that they have of the mural, whether or not they were really true, but it's kind of like the mural kind of created its own life within the community. The other thing that I feel very proud of is the research that I've done with the weaving tradition in my family, which is the Vallero blanket. It's the blanket with the 8-pointed star. And usually it's the rectangle, you have a star in the middle and a star in each corner, and you have your culebrillas, your zigzags, and you have your concentric diamonds that build out with edgings, the zigzag edgings. And for me, I'm really, really happy with the productions I've had over the years, because each one of the pieces also represents visits with my antepasados, my ancestors. And some of them I barely got to visit with them as I was starting to do these pieces. So a lot of them were already septuagenarians when I was in my 20s and 30s. So I was very fortunate to be able to spend time with them and hear their stories and get some of their wisdom. A lot of times art doesn't come from just what you have been taught. It comes from what you're feeling, what you know, but also how you are perceiving your existence. When you perceive something, trust your voice. Trust your heartfelt voice. And sometimes you might be working on something and it's an idea. You just know from your gut. It's an idea that you just really want to do. And sometimes nobody else understands what you're trying to do. But if you believe in what you're doing and just stick to it and believe in yourself and just finish it, go ahead and finish it. And even if it doesn't get any recognition, the fact that you completed it and you did it is critical. Because the next piece evolves from that kind of self-reliance, self-confidence. And so art doesn't have to be being famous. Art has to do that. It's an expression from your soul, from what you know, from who you are, your being.